Hey guys, welcome in a new episode of Steven's Week, the weekly update on marketing, technology and customer experience. Welcome in the show. In the beginning of the week, it was pretty bad for people who invested in cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ether. The value of those cryptocurrencies went down with about 25% in one day, and they lost about 40% of their value in the last month. And one of the reasons is stronger regulations, especially there were fears of China, that China would not allow their citizens anymore to use international wallets like Coinbase. So many Chinese people started to sell their cryptocurrencies, and because of that the value went down. Other countries are putting stronger regulations up, so this is a hurdle to take for cryptocurrencies, and we'll have to see how the market will react in the coming weeks and what more positive news would be about cryptocurrency. As you probably know, Apple has a lot of money standing here in Europe. It's about $250 billion that they have here on a bank account that they couldn't use, because if they would bring it back into the US, they would pay a lot of taxes on that. Now, there's a new tax bill in the US that allows them to bring in that money for a cheaper tax rate, and Apple will take advantage of that rule. So they're going to pay about $38 billion in taxes, but that means that now they got an enormous amount of money that they will be able to apply to, you know, strengthen their position, be more competitive, do new stuff. And I'm really curious what they will do. They're talking about the new headquarters and stuff like that, but let's be honest, Apple can finance that with the money that comes in every quarter. So I was just thinking, Apple wants to grow in the field of music, in the field of content. And I was thinking in the beginning of this year, in 2018, what will happen with Netflix in 2018 or 2019? If you see that Disney canceled all their contracts with Netflix and they bought Fox for $52 billion, and you know that Disney is going to start its own streaming business, you see the war for streaming services going to an extreme form. Amazon is using its music and its video to convince Prime members to become Amazon Prime members. So I was wondering what will happen with Netflix. Now that Apple has such an amount of money, it could potentially be that they buy Netflix at a certain moment to become really, really dominant in this field of content streaming. Or maybe Amazon will buy them at a certain moment to be sure that they have an extra asset for their Prime memberships around the world. So I think that Netflix could become a very interesting target at this moment. It's a very interesting company. And knowing that a company like Apple now has an enormous amount of money, you know, who knows, something like this could happen. It's just my hypothesis, my thinking, and I'm very curious to see what Apple will do, and I'm very curious to see what will happen with Netflix in the next few years. A funny example about the internet of stupid things. Many companies are making stuff because they can, because technology allows them to do it, but for customers it becomes a disaster, or there's no value for customers. And one of the funnier stories I read this week, I mean, for me it's funny, for people involved it's not really funny, but there's an app that is helping people to get pregnant, and they tell the world that they're better than any other tool to predict when it's a good time to start the production process of the children. But now that app got complaints by 38 women that complained they got pregnant and they didn't want to be pregnant, and the app gave them a false recommendation. So this is just hilarious to see how many tools are being invented just for the sake of using technology. Sometimes they don't even work. My favorite quote at this time is from Larry Page, founder of Google, who says, "Why is it possible that we still create toasters that burn toast?" And it's a brilliant quote, because we make these things that don't work perfectly and we just use some technology to do something half and half. But when it's so important as becoming pregnant or not becoming pregnant, it's kind of stupid that these kind of things happen. The most popular toy brand in the world, Lego, has decided to partner up with Tencent, the biggest technology company of China. And this is an important move. Once again, this is one of the big brands in the world that decides that they can better work together with the big tech platforms. And what Lego will do with Tencent is they will develop mobile games and mobile videos, basically. As you know, Tencent is bigger than Facebook in value, and Tencent is the proud owner of WeChat. That's the most popular and the most known part of Tencent. But Tencent is also one of the leading companies in the world when it's about content and especially mobile gaming. So Lego at this moment is suffering a little bit. The sales are taking a little dip in the US and Europe, so they've set their eye for China. And they want to do that by using the network that Tencent has and by making specific content and specific games for the Chinese market. I think this is a smart move. As you know, that layout and look and feel is sometimes a little bit different in China compared to what we have in Europe and the US. So I think it's pretty smart to make content that is really adapted to the market. This is also one of the secrets of Lego's success in the US and in Europe. They looked for big well-known names like Harry Potter, for instance, and then they make games and toys about it. Now they're moving into China and they're doing the same thing. They're adapting their content and their products towards the Chinese population and the Chinese children. And the smart thing to do, of course, is using Tencent, the most popular device and the most popular network in that huge market. So I think this is a big step for Lego, and it shows again how big brands and big technology companies can really add value for each other. Facebook released some ambitions regarding to Messenger. There are actually 3 changes that they want to do. One of the first things is to make it more visual. At this point, they feel that it's a little bit messy, and I personally feel it's less easy to use than WhatsApp. WhatsApp is more organized, so they want to change Messenger in that direction as well. Next to that, they want to become a service channel for businesses. They want to have more chatbots that work with a higher performance because they really want to help out companies to boost the level of customer service towards their clients. And the last thing is that they want to create new opportunities for companies to communicate with their audience through Messenger. So basically their goal is to become a business communication and service center for organizations. And that's fantastic, but at the other hand, I was hoping when I saw the news that Messenger would release some new plans, that they would move more into the world of WeChat with more transactions and not just a communication platform where a platform where we can, you know, buy stuff, do financial transactions, really get a deep connection with several businesses that goes further than customer service and buying stuff. But they didn't mention any of those things, and the focus is really on becoming a business customer service communication channel with Facebook Messenger. So guys, this was my weekly update. I hope you enjoyed the news, and please share the video if you like it, and if you feel that other people should see these messages as well, that would be really fantastic. And thank you for watching, and have a wonderful weekend, my friends, and see you again next week.